Hey guys, and welcome back to the Totally Random Talk Show. So we got a really special episode for you guys today, and it's going to be pretty awesome because we're going to have seven topics instead of our usual about five. Um, so we're going to go ahead and kick it right off. Let me give you a little brief description though. So we're going to have one topic for each continent. And the topics that we're going to have are going to revolve around food that is typically found in said continent. So let's go ahead and kick it off with North America, and then we're going to move all the way down the line to Antarctica. So let's go ahead and kick it off with North America.
All right. So for North America, we chose maple syrup. And as you may know, the maple leaf is on the Canadian flag, and maple syrup is very popular throughout North America. The few countries we have here. It's not too many, but
Mm-mm.
so yeah. I like maple syrup. It's pretty good.
It is amazing. I think it's cool how they get it though, because like literally all they do is like take a little cylinder thing and they just like bang it into a tree and then like leave a bucket under it and that's all they do. Like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like how did
There's
how do they even find the idea to do that? Like did they just like were they holding a straw and then they like tripped and like stabbed a tree and then like maple syrup started coming out? Like how did they figure that out?
I'm not sure, but actually, let's see. When did we first start using maple syrup?
I mean, it is quite ingenious because like the way we figured out that that was edible too is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then we use it for like pancakes now and recipes.
Yeah. So apparently the Native Americans that were living throughout n the northeast of what is now the US and Canada, they were making sugar from the sap from the maple trees. And then explorers
Oh,
came and so they used a similar process because they just stole it from them. But then another interesting thing is that the first written documentation of it was from 50 years before it really became more popular, I guess, or more people started doing it.
hmm.
Because by 1609, there were more explorers in the Americas. Before then, not too many. It was known, but not really.
Yeah, which and I guess it makes sense too. So that's pretty cool. Now, there are two different types of maple syrup, or at least over a broad spectrum, right? You have grade A and grade B maple syrup. Now, I know that these two may seem just like the same, which honestly, most people think. I thought the same for a while. I just thought that one was more expensive than the other. Um, but actually, the differences are pretty pretty big. Um, I've only ever had grade A maple syrup, but I've heard that grade B is like really sweet and like a lot better. I don't know.
Hmm.
Oh
So,
yeah,
oh yeah, what
here
were
we
you
go.
gonna say?
I found a thing on it. So grade A was considered the preferred grade of maple syrup because it's a lighter color, but then grade B is produced later in the season. Um, so there's a lot less of it and it's a darker color and it's a lot like grittier. It's got a thicker viscosity, a lot more minerals, etc., a lot more maple flavor. Yeah.
Hmm, interesting. So I have a question for you. What are foods that you would always put maple syrup on and foods that you would never put maple syrup on?
I would always put maple syrup on a waffle because waffles are amazing and they deserve maple syrup and the love that it gives. And something I would never put maple syrup on is black licorice because I hate black licorice. And
Uh,
let's just go ahead and throw on I would never put maple syrup on liver because I also hate liver and
that's
I
a
never want
terrible
to eat.
idea.
Yeah, don't put maple syrup on liver. Other than that, maple syrup is amazing on everything. You
Yes,
put a little sprinkle on your corn, make it nice and sweet.
or put it
Um,
on some sausage. That is that
Maple
is
sausage.
mm, this is the best.
Okay, now I'm gonna rebound this question on you.
Mhm. Let's see. Something, well, I mean, I kind of already mentioned it. Sausage. I'd probably always, I know it's kind of weird, but like if I have pancakes and sausage, I'm just gonna, I don't care. I'm just gonna lather them both up.
Mm.
And then something I wouldn't ever put syrup on. Um, Probably like a salad or I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that would like
Actually, I think I've had
taste terrible with it.
salad with maple syrup in it, and it's actually really good.
No, no, it
It's
ruins it.
actually it makes it like
Unhealthy.
not necessarily because like maple syrup, it's got natural sugars.
But then added sugars on top of that, like,
Well, most maple syrups don't really have added sugars, at least the ones that I've had.
yeah, well,
So
some do,
it
but
just depends which one you
you just
get.
have to be careful.
Yeah. Man, now I want to buy maple syrup. I want to buy grade. So, okay, idea. We should get grade B maple syrup because it's like $20 for like a tiny little 12-ounce bottle
Why?
because apparently it tastes amazing and I want
It's not worth it, man. It's not worth
it.
it.
What if it is? What if it tastes so good?
It's probably cheaper, honestly, to just buy the tools you need to make it yourself.
You'd have to find a maple tree
That still costs less than
and leave a straw cylinder thing in there for like days.
it could work. You've never tried it.
Let's go to Canada.
Uh, Pretty sure we could do it here. Maybe.
Not in Utah. We'd have to like go to Virginia or something.
Okay, fine. But this still it's closer than Canada.
Fair, fair.
Well, maybe not. Well, okay, closer to Canada where it's possible to. Did you hear that? The Alexa just
Whoa. I thought it was a ghost.
listening in.
Uh, Oh, that's scary.
But yeah, maple syrup is good. It's
If
probably
you haven't
easier
had
to
it,
just
try it.
get it from a store and not do it yourself.
Yeah.
Should probably move on
Also,
so we can get through
there's a
everything
difference
else.
between maple syrup and table syrup. Table syrup is like your high fructose corn syrup, like caramel color, sugar,
Chemical.
chemical additives. Like it's your very processed syrup. And maple syrup is one ingredient, maple syrup. It comes from trees. Normal syrup does not come from trees.
Yeah,
It it is literally entirely sugar. So there you have it.
thank you. All right. Well, next on the list, the next continent you could guess is South America. Why don't you introduce this one?
Okay, so this is a very deluxe South American food. It starts with an E and ends with an empanadas.
Wow.
You guessed it. It's empanadas.
From Argentina. Fitting as they won the World Cup. Um,
Very true.
so yeah, it's not necessarily everywhere in South America, but I'd say it is a good food because, well, a lot of countries in South America were colonized by Spain and Portugal and neighboring areas, and so they have a lot of similar foods, but very different. Like each country, if you notice, they use some of the same ingredients in very different ways. And so yeah, I think it's interesting because
Hmm.
empanadas usually it's like a stuffed pastry, I guess. I don't
You
know,
could
with
you could
meat.
call it a calzone if you want to.
Okay, well, actually, yeah.
It's kind of like a calzone, a little bit.
Without cheese, unless you want it, I
Yeah,
guess. But usually it just has
meat.
like beef. Like
Yeah, it's usually just beef.
like if I look at a recipe for an empanada,
1 pound of beef.
a lot of these they've got some beef and some vegetables. You could make them sweet, but that's not really
The
the
point,
same.
it's
It's not
supposed to be
meant.
savory.
Yeah. Let's see. Ah, empanadas are crescent-shaped, savory pastries. There we go. And you can see, oh, it lists off some ingredients. Here we go. Beef, chicken, pork, tuna, shellfish, cheese, vegetables, seasoned vibrantly. Wow.
Wow. Not
Impressive.
normally, vibrantly.
So this one has ground beef, lots of vegetables, onion, celery, peas, carrots, some garlic and other spices, and then yeah. And the dough is pretty simple too, because it's just like a pie crust, pretty much.
Yeah, it's not very difficult. But now you're making me hungry.
I mean, by the end, you should be hungry because we are talking about food.
This is very true. If you haven't, I could say this for any of the food we're going to talk about today. If you haven't had any of the foods we're going to tell you today, you should try it because they are all good.
There's so many good foods, and we only chose one from each continent, and there's like
This is very
thousands
difficult.
of foods. So yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not sure what much you can say about empanadas, just that
I
they're
mean,
good.
yeah, empanadas like they don't have as rich of a background as maple syrup does. Like they were created in South America and it is a mini pie with meat in it. It was the first chicken pot pie, if you will.
It's pretty much.
So I I don't even know what I would say to add on to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, maybe actually, okay, this is kind of a tangent, but oh, what was it called? Sorry, I can't remember the name of this food right now, but let me search it up. It's like we made this food one time that was like a fried burrito.
Oh, a
Um,
chimichanga?
well, not a chimichanga. It had
Mm,
another. It wasn't really. What was the name? They had a specific name for it.
a taquito?
It's not. I can't remember. It was a flauta. That's what it is. So it's slightly
Oh,
different from a chimichanga, but like I don't know why, but like kind of reminded me of an empanada slightly, even though it was fried, just because it's kind of a similar thing where you just like I don't know. There's a lot of foods like that where you have a grain outside tortilla or pastry bread, and then you have meat and vegetables and stuff on the inside. And those flautas, man, they were the best. Oh man,
oh,
so good.
you're making me hungry. Then again, we are talking about food.
That is true. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So
Well, I,
why don't we
I
talk
don't,
about?
I don't,
Yeah,
sorry, I don't know if you have anything else to say about empanadas. So,
that's about everything. Why don't we talk
okay,
about the next continent?
you guys guessed it. It is, well, maybe you didn't guess it, but the next continent is Europe or Europa, if you will. Um, so Max, why don't you kick us off with the next European food?
hmm So Europe is made up of very many small countries, but there's one thing that is carried through multiple countries, and that is stroopwafel. I have some with me right now. Now, if you don't know, stroopwafel is just like a thin, like here, let me just read the package. Toasted waffles filled with caramel. Basically, it's a small, thin waffle filled with caramel, and they're very good. And
They
it's
taste
mostly a
amazing.
snack, to be honest, but
It's not like your typical waffle that like is the size of an entire plate. It doesn't look like that. It is a very, very tiny, very thin waffle. Like it's thinner than your phone. Like it's very
yeah.
thin.
And it could probably fit in your hand. It's like, I'd say it's about the size of like maybe your palm, slightly larger for some, but
Yeah,
on
that's good.
average.
All I will say is they are amazing.
Hmm.
But I will also say more than that.
Yeah. Uh, Go ahead.
You could put some maple syrup in it. You put some beef in it and turn it into an
No,
empanada.
no, no, no.
Sweet, savory beef
Listen, okay,
with caramel.
just because it has beef inside of it doesn't make it an empanada, but
You fold it in half.
that's a quesadilla.
No, it's almost a crescent shape.
I just had a great idea. You should make a quesadilla made from a waffle. Just straight up think about it. You
That's a
fill it with
genius idea.
cheese and you just
The little holes, like
I I need it now. I need to make this.
we're gonna make some
Just
waffles
like
with cheese.
remember that one
Cheesy
time you
waffle.
made a waffle with avocado in it,
Yeah.
and it
Okay.
was one of the best waffles I've ever had.
So call me crazy, guys, but like I made a waffle once with like guacamole in the recipe. Like I put it in the batter, and for some reason it tasted like slightly sweet yet savory at the same
And it
time
was
because of the
heavenly.
avocado in it. It was amazing. And if you think I'm crazy, I'm not because I have had avocado ice cream before that I didn't make. I bought it from the store. Well, my mom did, and she let me try it. But it tasted like avocado slightly, but it like I don't know. It was a lot weirder than my waffle. That's the main point, okay?
Okay.
Avocado.
There's worse foods, okay? There's some
Yeah,
good stuff.
there's liver. You could be eating liver.
It's good for you, but
No, it's
not
not.
good.
It's just straight cholesterol.
Well,
That's all it is.
in moderation, yeah. If you eat a little bit.
If you eat like 3 livers in a day, prepare to die.
Oh boy. Um,
I don't know why
don't
you would.
don't do that.
Don't try to become the liver king.
Also, he's kind of fake, to be honest.
Yeah, he's definitely fake.
He probably like bites the raw meat and then just like spits it out and then eats a hamburger. Like,
Yeah, like what the heck, man?
like, bro, chill.
Plus, that's like disgusting on so many levels.
Yeah. I mean, there are lots of tribes throughout Africa that have raw meat in their meals. But we're not to
Right.
Africa yet, too, by the way. But but like, you gotta be careful still, because like
Yeah.
they've they're fine eating raw meat because they've done it to the point where they won't get sick from it because they're just pretty much immune. But if like you never have eaten raw meat and then you just eat a raw steak, like that's not good for you.
Yeah, that is not good at all. Well, like the thing is too, um, like red meat is not the greatest thing to eat raw. Like it's not very good at all. So like if you're going to eat raw meat, I would suggest eating like fish or something because that's way
Well,
better.
yeah, there's fish that's meant to be eaten raw.
Yeah. So like I don't know. You could be eating way better stuff. So
Or stroopwafel. bringing it back. Yeah.
Yeah. The Stroop waffles. Mm, hit different.
So, there's some brands that are better than others, I have to say.
Yeah, it's very true. You got to get the right one.
Hmm.
So, well, I think
Yeah.
that's all that can be
Not
said
much
about
to say.
Stroopwafel.
Now, why don't we move on? The next continent. We mentioned it slightly before, and it's Africa. So why don't you introduce the food from Africa?
Okay, the food from Africa that we are going to talk about. As a kid, I thought that it was pronounced something different because it's very misleading. Um, but we're going to be talking about couscous, which as a kid I thought it was pronounced Cushus. I was like, oh, Cushus, because that's what it looks like. It's spelled Cous. It's like it could be spelled either way, really works, but it is couscous. And if you don't know what it is, um, so it's mainly we came up with the idea because we were looking at Morocco, which is a northern African country, and basically all that couscous is like tiny little like what is it?
Well, let's see. So
Tiny
it's
little
kind of similar.
granules of
Yes.
durum wheat, semolina.
Yeah, semolina wheat flour. So it's actually a type of pasta because of that,
Hmm.
but like
The
it's
way I
just
would see it,
similar to rice pretty
yeah,
much
or
with
quinoa.
with a slightly different taste.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying it. And I mean, it's actually very rich in fiber and nutrients.
Hmm.
So it's a very good Moroccan dish, but also like it's in a lot of places like Europe and
Hmm.
South America. Like it's pretty universal. So
Although I'd say rice is probably more, but that's just because you could
yeah,
literally grow rice and then just cook it pretty much after
yeah.
processing it. But yeah.
So couscous is definitely more common in like European, African areas.
Yeah, I've noticed that because especially since Morocco is very north in Africa, like
Yeah,
right next to the Mediterranean, um, it it's pretty close to Europe. So
yeah. I'd say
it's,
like specifically in Europe, like couscous would be in the Mediterranean area,
hmm.
right? So like Greece and Turkey and Israel
Italy
maybe.
maybe, but
Italy.
Italy is slightly less. They kind of seclude
They kind of do
themselves.
their own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. Italian food is good.
It is good.
It's definitely different.
But all we're saying is couscous is pretty good too, you know.
It is really good when you add a mixture of sweet and savory. So what I like to do is you add a type of meat, which is savory, maybe some vegetables, and then a little bit of fruit, like maybe some apples or
Oh
something,
yeah,
right? Because it just complements the couscous. It's really good.
it is top tier. And you might think it's crazy, but I don't know. Apples just complement meat well too.
Yeah, they
Like
do. That's true.
it in a weird way, it just does.
Well, if you've ever seen anyone smoke meat, a lot of times they'll use like apple juice to keep the moisture in and stuff.
Yeah, and it
And
works really
I mean,
well.
it's apple juice. Like you wouldn't think that would work well with it, but it does. It tastes great.
It's your substitute for alcohol, I guess.
Yeah, well,
But then again,
alcohol
alcohol
works
is
too.
cooked out of it.
Yeah,
Like
you don't have to worry
either
about
either
that.
way,
Just adds a richness to it, I guess.
yeah.
There's some
Either way
things
it
that
works, I
you can only
guess.
make when you cook off alcohol on something. So yeah.
Well,
Hmm, that's about it.
couscous.
Yeah. Couscous. I used to think it was choo choo.
Choo choo.
I'm like, choo choo train. What? But
Oh man.
couscous? Yeah, no.
Crucius.
That makes more sense if you read it out exactly how it's spelled. See, because it's just spelled Couscous.
So you're like,
It's
oh, Crucius?
yeah, Confucius.
Cows? House.
Or if it's
Hughes.
French, then you think it's
Hughes.
cool, cool.
Cuckoo.
Cool,
Cool, cool,
cool.
cool, cool.
But couscous is
Yeah.
yes. So yeah, why don't we move
Alrighty.
on to the next continent?
Mada, 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 mada. The next continent that we are going to talk about is Asia. And now Asia, they have a lot of food, especially rice is their most prominent. Um, but rice is like so universal that we thought that we should kind of like hone it down a little bit. So we're going to be talking about sushi.
All right. So interesting, excuse me. Interesting fact about sushi. Sushi is said to have been originated in China, actually, not Japan, many, many centuries ago. And but it was a different type of sushi. It was mostly just like preserving fish with salt. And then
Mhm.
nowadays, like around the 1800s in Japan, someone invented the more modern type of sushi, which is nigiri sushi.
Nigiri, yeah.
Nigiri. Oh my heck. I'm
Nigiri.
sorry.
You're thinking
I was
Nigeria?
more like I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm sorry. It's fine.
Nigeria.
Okay, but anyways, that the more modern type of sushi now that most people know is pretty common. You can get it in a lot of restaurants, and I don't know. I guess I don't know if I've had like say like authentic sushi, right? But
Mhm.
I guess it really depends on what you say is authentic because
Yeah.
because it is just
I'd say that
fish,
authentic sushi is
rice,
like
sometimes
sushi from Japan, like itself,
mhm,
right? Because like the American version of sushi, which in fact is a thing, um, is essentially what we know today to be sushi. So like little bits of, avocado, cucumber, tuna, salmon, whatever they put in the middle, wrapped in rice, which the rice is wrapped in seaweed, right?
mhm.
But that is actually not that they don't really do that in Japan. They do and they don't. What they do most commonly is called nigiri, um, or nigiri for
Hey, I'm sorry. Okay,
the
listen.
hey, don't worry, Cusius. Okay, Cusius.
I've even said it right before, but I just just this one time.
Basically, what a nigiri is though is just like a ball of rice with a little bit of whatever they put on top of it. Like typically it's fish, so like tilapia or mackerel or salmon,
Or
um,
tuna, but
or tuna,
raw
squid,
sometimes.
octopus, like whatever they put on top of it, and then just like a tiny little bit of seaweed wrapped around the middle. But sometimes they don't even have that at all. It's just a ball of rice and some fish. Like that,
Yes.
it just depends.
It looks so good though. Ah,
Yeah.
just looking at pictures, like
I've never had like authentic sushi, but like I've been to sushi buffets and like those are usually pretty good too. They usually
yeah,
have quality stuff. They're there's a couple rolls at this sushi buffet that I like to go to. Um and they fry them and
that
it
sounds
is
good.
it is really good. Except there was this one that I tried. I think it was a Texas roll and it had way too much cream cheese. So like literally,
That's a bit weird.
like it just got stuck to like the roof of your mouth and like you couldn't get the taste of cream cheese out of your mouth. And it was
That's weird.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I didn't like it.
See,
It was
there's
weird.
one other thing I like. This isn't really technically sushi, but there are some restaurants where you get to cook the food yourself, and they have
Oh,
sushi sometimes there too. And so then like you have like a well, it's like a grill, like I
are
don't
you
know how to
talking like Hoo
describe it.
Ha, like Mongolian grill?
Well, where it's like there's some that are like Korean and Japanese too, like
Yeah,
Yummy's Korean barbecue and
I actually haven't
Umami
been there.
Japanese. Those are good. I've been to both of those. Basically, they have a little hole in the table. Well, not like a hole, I guess a dip in the table that goes onto a grate, and there's a fire underneath it, and you just set your meat or vegetables and stuff down on it, and you cook it yourself. And they
Hmm.
provide all the stuff for you too. So like that's
That
where I
sounds
tried
awesome.
beef
I'm gonna have
tongue,
to go there.
which is actually pretty good. So
Lingua, gotta
yeah,
love it.
it tastes just like any other part of the cow. It's just kind of weird to think about.
You're like, oh, I'm eating a tongue. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
ugh.
Like, ooh,
I've had fish eggs. That's
that's fun.
yeah. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's like weirdly crunchy, and I don't like the thought of that.
Yeah.
So
But then there's escargot, which is the exact opposite, where it's like just squishy,
yeah, escargot is
buttery.
snails for those of you who don't know, and it's actually really good. I like
How
it.
it's made though. If it's lighter, if it has like a pool of butter in the bottom, just that's it. Yeah.
That is the way to go right there.
Anyways,
Long story short, try some sushi if you haven't, and if you're afraid of getting like poisoned because the sushi like there's raw fish because most sushi has raw fish. Don't worry about it because raw fish is actually more healthy than cooked fish.
in some cases, depends on the fish though.
Yeah,
But yeah,
some fish you should not eat at all, like a blobfish.
if it's been prepared at the restaurant with raw fish, it's probably going to be good because yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of the time they got some professionals
Yeah,
cooking
you
up the
probably don't have
sushi.
to worry about it.
Not cooking it, but preparing it.
Yeah,
They don't cook very much.
I like raw
Rice.
fish more than cooked fish. Call me crazy, but I think it's better.
Although some salmon that's been grilled with some lemon,
Mm.
that is pretty good. Salmon is the best.
Raw or cooked, either way, I think it's amazing.
Oh yeah. And speaking of fish, why don't we move on to our next continent?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Why don't you kick us off
So
this
this
one?
continent is Australia slash Oceania because it isn't just Australia. There are surrounding islands that are part of the continent. And so the next topic is fish and chips because it is in the UK, but it is also in Australia and New Zealand.
Mhm. In surrounding areas. So fish and chips, it's interesting because like I don't know why they call it fish and chips because the chips, um, if you are from the United States, you'd think, oh, potato chips? No, it's
No,
fries. It's fish and fries.
French fries, as in
Yeah.
fried potato wedge. No.
Yeah. I don't they just call it chips and like
And then crisps are potato chips.
mm, yeah.
Listen,
There's too many names for like
mm,
fried or baked pieces of potato. They gotta calm down.
I mean, you're not wrong. There's like 50 million different names.
You got fries, wedges. Um,
Mm,
what are those ones called that you get at like Chick-fil-A? Those have a different name, right?
waffle fries.
Yeah, waffle fries. Those are different.
You got curly fries. You have um accordion fries as well.
Oh yeah.
Those are
Those,
weird. I
Those
don't
ones are
I don't
fun.
understand how people why would you do that? Why don't you just cut it normally and just get more fry?
Or they get like the potato on a stick, and it's like the spiral that looks like one long
Oh
chip.
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot what that's called. Yeah, that one's weird. Anyways,
Yeah, there's lots
fish
of types of chips.
and chips.
And let me see, what type of fish is it usually?
Isn't it like what's a typical salmon, tilapia,
I think it's cod. That's what it is.
cod? Oh, cod.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says
That makes
breaded. It
sense.
has a very specific breading too that isn't on too many other things that I can think of. And a lot of times you'll dip it in malt vinegar or tartar sauce. Both are very good with it, and
Mhm.
it's really good, honestly.
Now I want all this food now.
Yeah, I'm hungry now.
I want me some Cushus.
Every time you say that, I just think of like Confucius. Like,
Confucius. Every time I say Cushus, I think of the one guy from The Dark Knight, like Batman,
hmm,
because his name is Cushus.
yeah,
And
that's weird. Wait a
I can't
minute.
legit Morgan Freeman Cushus. I can't. Uh,
Oh boy. Oh
it's killing me.
no.
Well, fish and
Anyways,
chips is
look,
good.
one thing I've noticed with a lot of foods, lemon is used to complement them a lot. You got fish and chips, sometimes you have lemon on the fish, and like with salmon, you have lemon. And then
Hmm.
with like desserts, you can have
Sushi.
lemon.
Sushi has a lot of lemon,
Lemon is
typically.
so good because you can use it on like savory and sweet things. You could have like
It works perfectly.
lemon tarts and then salmon with lemon, two totally
Mm,
different things with
mm.
the same ingredient, just
Lemon
juice.
cheesecake and
Oh yeah,
lemon infused
lemon
beef.
bars, lemon infused.
Hey pal, you never know.
Listen,
What if you
don't.
decide to brine your beef? Like you get a nice sirloin tip, right? And you just like drench it in lemon juice for like 3 days, you know?
Oh no. Let's see. How to tenderize meat with lemon juice. And
You
this
put
is
a
very
lemon
recent from 2 months ago.
put a lemon on your meat tenderizer and smack it,
Oh,
and then you
and
smack your meat.
it has typos.
Ooh,
Nope, no, it had a
no,
lot of
that ain't
typos.
it, chief.
How to brine meat. Lemon brine roasted chicken.
Ooh,
See, I don't know if beef would work, but chicken would. Because fish doesn't.
chicken
Chicken
would.
is more, I feel like more similar to fish, but still fish is so different. It's not even
Yeah.
like it's the main meat, I guess. It's like it's fish.
If I may quote something, fish meat is practically a vegetable.
Mm. With omega-3 fatty acids,
Nutrients.
the
If
nutrients.
if you know what the quote's from, good for you, I guess.
Sorry,
It's a
guess I
it's
lose.
a it's a Parks and Rec quote. Fun
Uh,
fact,
gotta
but
watch that.
it's a good one. So there you have it.
Now, the final food. This one is probably the ultimate one. Why don't you introduce the
Oh, I don't know, because I did Africa and Asia and I didn't even realize it. So I did Kushis and sushi.
Okay, okay.
Couscous.
Okay. This last continent is the coldest continent there is. Um, it's it's Africa. No, no, just kidding. No, no, Antarctica. Um, interesting thing about Antarctica, really quick, is that it's technically a desert because it doesn't rain very much there. Um, but yeah, anyways, the food for Antarctica is an MRE, which stands for meal ready to eat. Pretty much, it could be any food you want, but it's just like dehydrated in a bag, and you boil water and dump it in to cook it. It's like instant ramen.
but like I don't know, military version.
Yeah, or space food.
They use it in the military a lot. They use it in NASA. Yeah, it's just really convenient.
Hmm.
And I've also had MREs where like it's actually like chemically cooked, but like I know that doesn't make sense, but like basically it's like a bag, but you pour in like water, just water, like it doesn't even need to be boiling. And like there's a reactant like underneath um the food, like separated from it,
Hmm.
that like when you pour the water in, it just like heats it, right?
Hmm.
It's like a hot hands, like,
Oh
hand
yeah, yeah.
warmer, but like whatever the chemical is, it reacts with the water and then the water heats up. So like the water can be cold and it just heats up the food that way.
Yeah. But actually, interesting thing about the hot hands, they have like little rusted pieces of iron filings because it actually generates heat, and they also have a reactant kind of in there. So like it's kind of a natural way of getting heat in a really weird way because because basically the, right when something rusts, it gives off heat very slowly, but
Mhm.
they just quicken that to make it so that you get heat faster. And I think that's kind of crazy. Like
However, they figured that out.
who thought of
Right.
that? Who thought that that would be the best way to do it? Because it hasn't really changed, I guess. And I mean, there's other ways to generate heat, but like that's kind of the simplest solution.
Yeah. It's kind of cool though, just to think about.
Yeah.
So MREs, there's a vast like variety of different things. You got your lasagna in a bag, omelet in a bag, soup in a bag,
Soup in
um,
a bag. All right.
empanadas in a bag,
No, no, no.
sushi in a bag,
You don't need to heat sushi, but
couscous in a bag. That would work actually.
yeah,
Um,
that would
orange chicken in a bag. I don't
orange
know.
chicken.
Whatever they decide to throw in a
Whatever
bag
you
and
want.
dehydrate.
Anything of your dreams that's
If
in
you
the
can
bag
dream it, you can do it and eat it.
is inspirational. I got tears running down my cheeks.
Oh, oh, MREs.
Wait, okay, if it makes you that emotional, you might need to eat some new foods. Go try
Yeah,
something more interesting, like alligator.
fair. If you guys want to know why we chose MREs for Antarctica, though, the reason is one, you don't get a lot of food in Antarctica because no one lives there. That's a
Well,
lie. There's
some
like
people do.
20 people that
Well,
live there.
they're scientists.
Yeah. And so they probably don't get a lot of like variety food. So they probably eat MREs because it's easy. And then another reason why we chose it is because Mr. Beast just did a video and they went to Antarctica and they had MREs. And he's like, MREs is an Antarctican food,
Yes, and he had Hans Zimmer compose a song for his video. How
which
does
is
this guy?
so
How do
cool.
you do it?
Literally insane. I
The
want
result.
Hans Zimmer to like
Yeah.
just come to my house and like compose me a song. Like that would be so awesome.
He's just like, oh yeah, and Hans Zimmer did the music. What? You went to Antarctica with custom made movie score?
I mean, it's basically a movie, I guess.
Well,
Like it was pretty
yeah,
cool.
pretty much, yeah.
Anyways, MREs,
Yeah.
top tier.
Basically, I guess our message today is to try new foods.
Don't be afraid of new foods. If people eat it, it is also safe for you, meaning
Um, unless it's not. There are some
unless
foods
it's
you should
not
not eat.
liver.
Raw pork, other people. Don't
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 don't do
do
that.
that. Um, anything that would instantly make you have the feeling, a need to throw up.
You
Don't
know, if
don't
some
eat that.
people can eat grilled cat, you can too.
Just don't grill your house cat, okay? That's a bit weird.
Whiskers.
Mom, where did the cat go? What? Dinner's ready.
Mm-mm.
The cat went out for a walk.
Mom, dinner tastes really good tonight. What did you put in it?
Um,
Um,
the spices.
and pork.
Meow. Oh, wait.
Uh,
Awkward.
hiding the fact that you cooked a cat for your children.
I'm sorry, but if you're that desperate,
You should probably
eat something else.
go to the store, get an apple, eat the apple, and not your cat. That's
Oh,
my advice to you.
that's pretty good advice.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind when I
Don't eat your cat.
don't even own a cat.
I don't have a cat. I can't eat it. You can't eat the cat you don't have.
Is this a cat that exists and doesn't exist at the same time?
Exactly. I just ate my imaginary cat.
Now I'm just thinking of Cat in the Hat. Oh no.
No, don't eat the cat in the hat.
He's not even a cat though. He's just a
He's not.
person with a bunch of fur.
He's just yeah,
He's Sasquatch, dude.
he is literally just the Grinch with a different color scheme and a hat.
And he's a bit nicer, but he still likes pulling pranks on people.
Maybe he's actually secretly evil.
Maybe, okay, maybe he's the Grinch. Wait, wait, no. Maybe he's like the Grinch's cousin or brother or something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
And then
He
he was
actually
like, he like the runt, so he got like the no, he got no color. Like the rest of them are like blue and purple and red and all those cool
yeah, that
colors,
that
right?
would make sense.
And then he's just black and
Chilling.
white. He's like, I look like a cat. Like I can capitalize on this, but anyways, I think that's everything we got
Yeah, I
for
think
today.
that's it. So try new things. All
As
right.
always, stay
Stay
random.
random.
Happy New Year.
Happy day.